would advise anyone coming out of university not to set up on their own. I think the most important thing that they need to get is to learn how to survive as a business, how to work successfully in a commercial area, and how to start to understand strategy, but not to lose any of their creative edge.
I would say go and work for someone first, just for a year or two, just to get the basics of running a business. Just even filing, just even understanding how, everything works, petty cash, all those things.
I think if you go and work for somebody, you do learn an awful lot. You might not learn that much about business, actually. That's the problem. I think you just got to get on with it.
Communication skills, really useful. Some numeracy is really useful. At least if you're going to charge anyone at the end, and try and work out whether you can afford to do the job or how much you've lost on the job. Obviously people skills, great, because it's no good being best designer in the world if you can't actually sit down with a client and tell them about your idea, or you just rub them all up the wrong way.
Those that are attracted to industries because of aesthetics aren't necessarily interested in making money. If they were, they'd probably go off and do a business course in the first place. So it's quite hard to marry those two things. People who have creative ideas are often very interested literally in the living of having them and turning them into something. And so they either have to discover a hunger for business, or they have to find someone who's hungry in the way that they're not and partner up.
Maintaining client relationships is something that's very important. And also relationships with manufacturers as well. It's important that you're having a different conversation with a client than you would be having with some guy based in South London doing metal work. But it's important that you're able to convey what it is you want and move projects on. So communication's key, really.
Running a creative agency, I think, is I only really concentrate on two things. Because I've got people now who can do the numbers and who can do the invoicing and can do the things that means the business. I used to do all the VAT returns by hand with a calculator. So I do know how it all works. It's a pain in the arse, and I'm glad I'm not doing it now, as long as I've got somebody I trust to do it. But I only really focus on two things, and that is really where's your work coming from? Without work, you've got nothing. If you don't get the right work, then you're not happy. If you've not got work that you're any good at, you don't do it very well, you don't make any money. So where the work comes from is really key, and the other one really is the culture of the organisation and the mood that you have and the atmosphere.
Probably 30% of your time is the actual term graphic design, and maybe even less. I don't know, some days certainly less. But it's all the bits kind of around it, the framework that hold it, that prop it up. So, you have to be, understand about IT, you've got to understand a bit about human resources, you've got to certainly understand about figures, understand about how things, how things can stay profitable.
People sort of wondered why I didn't have more people working for me and why I was so hands-on, and maybe there was a better use of my time than sort of doing all those things. But actually, for me, it's made me, I feel that it's stronger because I understand everything about running a business.
The reality is you have to work very, very hard. The market for design is saturated by graduates, and you have to make your own luck and then get lucky a little bit. But it starts with having an ambition and going for it. And I think that's the first point of call for all designers, because the ones who really want to get there tend to get there.
As we grow and our portfolio becomes more populated with things that better describe what we can do, business is becoming more stable, we're getting more people approach us, so we're having to do less sort of new business work, if you like. And projects are coming in and it's starting to run itself and become more stable. But it has been, it's been a struggle over the last few years to go out and win business against larger consultancies. So we've had to compete on cost, for example, or other aspects of delivery.
But in the early 90s, when I had set up my studio, there was a point where I didn't really have any work, and I sat around trying to get the courage up to call people, which I'm not really terribly good at.
I've learnt to develop certain skills. So, for instance, like writing prose, I have to write a lot of proposals, a lot of analysis and kind of concluding documents. I've even written articles for magazines as well, so that's one thing, kind of communicating effectively, not just through design and through objects, but through words, is very important.
The sort of hard graft is underestimated because we have had this boom period, so it's been quite easy for people to find work, studios as well as young designers. And I think more than ever, we'll have a period where people really need to knuckle down and listen to what companies need, and listen to what employers need, and then, produce solutions for them.